My daughter, the high school she attended, there were 5 deaths from automobile accidents in a period of 2 months.
And we had 4 students that were killed in a very tragic accident.
In the time that he's been in high school, 5 children have died, or 5 teenagers have died in car accidents in our town, and we only live in a town of 6,000 people.
Driving's the #1 cause of death for teenagers in America.
I don't want him to be that statistic. I don't want him to be the 6th kid. I don't want him and his friend to be the 6th and the 7th kid. I don't want anybody to be the 6th kid. The kids just don't have the tools.
We're just being like put out on the road, and you know, we're in class and we read stuff in books, but until you get the experience, you're not going to know what to do if you get on an ice patch and you get out of control, or if something comes at you and you need to stop and then turn.
Why don't we do something to fix it? These young people are going to be our leaders one day.
And here's the thing, they died in car accidents.
And it was obvious to me that they weren't getting the proper training.
When I realized what all these statistics were and what was going on, I started to write a book. I didn't know what else to do, but I was just compelled to do something about this, because I'm here today because I had good training. My father would take me out in the country roads on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, and he would literally drive a car off the road and show me how to bring that car back on.
I can't stress that enough. I don't know how you can look at the driver's education system, the driver's ed that they teach, and say, okay, now I feel like my child is ready to go and drive on the streets.
Just learning skills to help you if something were to happen. Just being able to know that you know what to do a little bit better than you did is just, it makes a huge difference.
Quite honestly, I started this because I needed to make a difference. We can't have driving as the #1 cause of death. If 80% of these fatal crashes are preventable, then somebody needs to prevent them. And prevention is education, training, and experience, and in that order.
My first experience with the teen driving school was my parents signed me up after I had a horrible wreck in my truck. I actually ended up totaling it, and they made me come here. I was very rebellious about coming. I really did not want to come.
So this little girl showed up, and she did not want to be here. She had just come through a wreck that should have killed her, and she came out of that wreck without a scratch, more invincible than she went in.
They were really worried about me the first day because I am the rebellious type. I didn't think that I needed this, didn't think I should be here. I really didn't want to be here. And I was just I felt like I didn't need it.
And we really struggled with her. And on the second day, our whole management team was just completely concerned. We thought, if we don't reach this girl in this last day, she could be the first fatality coming out of this program. And about midday on Sunday, I pulled her out of a car. It was right out here. And we stood there and had just a heart-to-heart conversation. And it was the first time that I just got out of my comfort zone and told someone else that I genuinely care about their life.
And then after Dan started talking to me and pulled me aside, and we had a few conversations, as well as Dr. Dar and Chuck, I really started seeing the big picture and opening up to it. And they were worried about me because of my overconfidence in driving. I'm throttle happy, but it's okay. I haven't had any more accidents or wrecks. That's been good.
It all clicked for her somewhere between July and the end of last year. And she wanted to come back and help. But the lesson she taught me was that these teens don't just want to be taught something. They want to know that we care about them. They want to know why we really do this. And we do it because we genuinely care. I can't imagine what I would feel like if that girl had left here and lost her life. But today, she comes to every event we have and helps out. I get to see her every 2 months or whatever it is. And she's just such a joy to be around. But it was a very humbling lesson to learn. And so now we start these seminars. So these teens know right up front. The main reason we're here is because your life is important to us.
And he's not ready yet to drive out there all on his own. Because this is, it's 2 days. He's not, like they say, you're not an expert driver in 2 days. But what he has right now is he knows what it feels like to have the front end slide. He knows what it feels like when the back end slides. He knows what it feels like when 2 wheels go off the road. He knows what it feels like when you're in an emergency braking situation. He knows what it feels like to be out of control in the car. He knows that that's recoverable.
I think the critical component here is that you're not, the instructors at this particular facility, you're not dealing with somebody that's just teaching you how to, lack of a better description, aim a car. You're dealing with people who are professional race drivers. You're dealing with former law enforcement people who all bring something into that dynamic of how to properly, everything from maintaining the car, prepping the car, when you're going to drive the car, the mirrors, and making sure the seat's properly adjusted and you're within the reach of the controls. It's comprehensive. You just can't, we've seen these other driving schools, meaning just a behind the wheel type of driving school. You just don't get anywhere near the comprehensive amount of data that you do here, both hands-on and in classroom. So I couldn't stress enough that the takeaway from this is that you've got a confident driver. They understand that it's clearly been demonstrated to them that you can't text, you can't try to eat or drink and focus on the road. And of course, when you don't focus on the road, things can happen and go out of control very rapidly. So I know both of my kids came away from this with the understanding that just how quick things can happen, particularly on the skid pad where they had to exercise with telling them to dial up the radio to a specific channel, or trying to text. And the takeaway from that was, boy, that's really true. You can't take your mind off the driving for a split second. There's so many dynamics at play that you can lose control of the vehicle or have hit a vehicle head on or some of that nature.
Well, and I think the instructors, they're all volunteer. They're out here giving their time, 2 days of their weekend. So it's about the kids.
I'm in it to save a life. And every student that comes through this program, I follow up with them 6 months later, 9 months later, maybe a year and a half later. We stay in touch the best we can. I want to know, are they using the tools we gave them? Is everything all right? If there is an incident, they find me on their doorstep immediately. It's time to have a chat. If it's a serious incident, if there's a confidence issue going on as a result of it, whatever the case might be, I'll bring them back through the program. I want these kids home alive every time. It's a mission for me. I promise you there's no money in this. But the reward of a life that's spared, how do you put a price on that? So this is what we're here for. As I say to the teens when they show up, life matters. They're important. And we're going to do everything we can to protect them.